job.
It's a nice one.
So this is the tail end of their lunch. We have them for about 15 minutes. Okay. So we'll ask questions, and they've had a spectacular day so far. I know, they're so sick of it.
It's our show business uncle, Jim. We'll take questions on anything really, not just this, but like science, religion, theology. Right, Amanda Peet?
Judaism.
Falls under the category of religion.
You had the, so we found out that you had the Brockmire character for ages.
Yeah.
How did you create him?
I mimicked everything I heard as a kid and teenager, and this was one of the main things I liked to mimic was announcer voices like this. Not just baseball guys, but commercial guys, guys who sold you the Ginsu knife, whatever it was. I liked this voice. I thought it'd be a funny character. And so far it is, right, Amanda Peet?
It's hilarious.
She's paid to say that. Next question. This one about, let's go with religion this time.
What was your...
I know you're a Democrat. How do you feel about Hillary Clinton?
Wow, you really did get it. I was just kidding about it. Listen, I love a good pantsuit. Next question.
What was your reaction when you finally realized that this was a go after all the hiccups and roadblocks along the way?
I said I wouldn't really believe it till I heard action on the first day. And then when I did, I still didn't quite believe it. It took about a week. But it's been amazing. I'm having more fun than I've ever had in my life.
What's it been like working with actual broadcasters, just hanging out with them?
Yeah, I was so happy. I'm happier than I even thought. I love all those guys. I keep telling them I'd be happy seeing them anywhere, let alone acting in a scene with me, being themselves. And they did great. We were all ready to cut their stuff in case they sucked as actors, but they were amazing. They were great.
How free are you guys to riff? Because it seemed like you guys were kind of playing around with different takes there.
Yeah, we were trying to keep it loose for them. So, but usually a little bit, but we don't have a lot of time. So usually we.
Did you guys hear the lentil take?
Yes.
I would have cut that. Yeah, it was funny.
It was really good.
Amanda,
He said lentil.
go ahead, bro.
He said I'm a big fan of lentils.
I'm a big fan of lentil.
Amanda, this question is for you. Someone mentioned earlier about this being an age-appropriate relationship between the two of your characters rather than, just him being with a significantly younger woman. Of course.
I suggest you tread carefully.
You know what? Skip that question. Somebody else ask a question. Oh, jeez.
I'm
No,
just
she's-
pretty much kidding. I
What's
don't really know what the question
What's
is.
the question?
Oh, yeah. The question was, how do you, that just threw me. But the question basically was, how do you feel about, the synergy between your two characters, and something along those lines, but yeah.
Just rep the age thing right at it.
Yeah.
I think that it's really important that Jules is middle-aged, in her 40s. It's written into the role. She is really on the old side to be pregnant, and she's been around the block, and I think the way Joel Church Cooper created her, I don't think it would work if it were a young woman. I think part of her story and part of her aura has to do with the fact that she's middle-aged and has been through a lot of struggle and is in that chapter of life. So I think it would be pretty ridiculous, not only because Hank is so incredibly old, it would just be ridiculous for the story if she were in her 20s or 30s. So thankfully I'm 44 and was eligible.
Amanda,
Let's hurry up, because I'm gonna pass away.
Amanda, man, I've been a big fan of yours since Whole Nine Yards. So I love seeing you in comedies, and you come with a different intensity. So what attracted you to this particular script?
You know, when I realized sometime around episode 2 or 3 that she was a middle-aged owner of a minor league team in the middle of nowhere who's an alcoholic, I was like, sign me up. I mean, most of the roles I get are just to be someone's wife or to be someone's girlfriend, or they're just sort of, you know, the girl is sort of just a plot device, but she doesn't really have any substance and certainly isn't funny. And so when I started reading it, I started to get really excited when I realized she has a potty mouth and drinks too much and has no children and...
Sort of a ruthlessness, like Any Given Sunday or something like that, or?
No, not ruthless, just...
Uncouth.
Just has a potty mouth.
Okay.
And drinks a lot.
Okay.
Likes her drink. Hard drinker.
How, were you a baseball fan before, and if not, what's the learning curve been for you, or is that, like, do you need to know that much?
I'm not a huge baseball person, I have to be honest, and it was a big learning curve. I was watching Ken Burns' documentary, and I watched the documentary about Bing Russell, the team up in Portland.
Battered bastards of baseball.
Yeah. But I still don't understand how anyone makes it to first base or pretty much anything.
Are you a sports fan at all? Or?
Yeah, I mean, I played a lot until I went to college, and yeah, I'm not anti-sports, but I'm just not a huge follower.
Did Marge Schott ever become any part of the conversation?
Did what?
Marge Schott.
She used to own the Cincinnati Reds. We were discussing her.
She's like a big racist.
She got in trouble.
She's a huge anti-Semite. I looked up, the only reason I know who she is because I looked up to see what outfit she wore. I didn't know what I was supposed to wear.
Are we dressing you like Marge Schott?
No.
Please don't. We dressed you like Marge Schott.
I tried to find pictures of her just like out and about, and it was impossible, and then I found out she was a racist anti-Semite, and I was like, never mind you.
Yeah.
So Hank, I'm really impressed by all the work you're doing with Determined to Succeed. Like, I'm really big on volunteering and giving back to young people. Could you speak a little bit about what specific elements about Brockmire is going to filter over into your philanthropic work, and what are you retaining from the kids?
I don't think those twain are going to do. In fact, I'm going to keep most of those kids far away from me until they're about 33 years old. No, really, I don't think it has anything to do with the other. I really love doing that work, but I haven't even thought of that since I've been here. It's been sort of a break from all that.
Are you looking for the baseballs? Are you looking forward to the baseball scenes tomorrow?
Yeah, we're getting down to making tomorrow and starting the baseball stuff. You know, it's an aggressive schedule, so that's one of the most challenging things about this is making sure we get all that baseball action in time. So I'm a little nervous about that, actually. At least I won't be having to do it. So that's good.
Could you talk a little bit about your characters' relationship in the show and how you meet, how you get along?
The way Jim describes it in the story is they both have the same exact level of functional alcoholism, so they're sort of destined to be together. And yeah, I realized in doing this with Amanda, she's really great, and she was this is a guy who has been through a hard time in his life, like a really hard time, not a comedically hard time. I mean, it's funny, but genuinely painful things have happened to him, and he's not in a good place. And you know, he meets this woman who's kind of almost the only thing for him, really. A woman who owns a baseball team, who appreciates him for who he is, or who he was before he broke down, and who can match him, who can see past all his horrible debauchery, and they're funny together. And they just enjoy each other on a lot of different levels. They get surprised by how much they actually enjoy each other on a deep level. which sort of gets revealed.
That's what I was gonna ask, who saves one, who saves the other, or who redeems the other, you know, helps to bring you out of that hole that,
Both drowning, both drowning.
Yeah, what's that line? He goes, "We're both sprinting to outrun God's sniper rifle." But and they don't really bring. I mean, they. She definitely helps revitalize his career and bring him back around. But one of the things about there's nothing romantic about this story, really.
What? Are you out of your mind?
No, I mean they're very
So romantic.
but meaning there's nothing storybook about it. They don't like ride off into the sunset together necessarily or
It's not your
live happily
typical
ever after. No, it's very anti all that. They do bring each other out of it, but I'm not sure what it all amounts to for you.
I think it's very romantic. I just want to say
Well,
that.
it is.
What do you find? What do you think is romantic about it? What is?
I just think that in partly what he just said, you know, I think that a lot of stuff you read is really sentimental, it's predictable,
That's the word I was looking for. Sentimental. It's not that.
and sugar-coated, and life isn't like that. And even though this is a comedy, I think that it's fun to have two people who are so fucked up and really just attracted to each other immediately and share this incredible passion for this, you know, the institution of baseball, and have a shared nostalgia about it. And I really liked it. You know, I've done a lot of shows, and there are a lot of shows about rich white people who are married and living in really rich enclaves in the United States. And what their problems are, and I was excited that this was about baseball. Or I was excited about that the backdrop was about baseball.
Would you say your characters, do they have like a real turmoil type thing? Are they, is it dangerous for them two to be together, or is it pleasant for them to be together?
It's both.
It's both.
It's dangerous for any two people with this level of alcoholism to be egging each other on. And really, they get in trouble, and yet they're, you know, definitely helping save each other on some level.
Have you either of you worked on this kind of tight run and gun schedule on a project like this before?
Nothing quite this level. I mean, close for sure.
Yeah, I've worked on a lot of things.
Okay.
But
Really, but 10, 12 pages a day? That's pretty, I've never gone quite that high.
Speaking of, we're back from lunch. I'm going to need to pull them, but thank you everybody for coming. And I
Thanks,
think we'll have
guys.
some more scenes after lunch.
Thank you.
thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.